Hey there guys, welcome back. It's been a while since we did a video, so I thought I'd share with you some of my body camera video. This one in particular is from a vehicle pursuit slash foot pursuit slash a whole bunch of other stuff that happened a while back, but the case is now closed so I can finally release the video. So where we're picking up here is where I'm about to perform a felony stop on the vehicle and wait for other units, so please enjoy. Got them stopped, they're pulling over. Turn off the vehicle! Turn it off! Turn off the vehicle! Freestone took off on me.
Brief on all units, vehicle took off on him, vehicle took off on him.
Vehicle passing on the shoulder, running people off the road. Now, it's actually a shame that the dash cam in this particular unit that I was using that day was not very good. It was kind of hit or miss with functionality and quality, so I don't really have the video for that. But this guy is just all over the road in this fairly large pickup truck, really putting a lot of people at danger by driving on the shoulder and passing in unsafe areas. Passing County Road 901, speed's over 100. So I'm actually going to end up cutting a lot of this vehicle portion of the pursuit because you can't really see anything. But basically he is going like over 100 miles an hour. We lose sight of him and he ends up ditching the car pretty cleverly actually in the woods, and you'll see that here in a little bit. So fast forward here, and we're at the point where we've actually located the truck with a airborne drone with a thermal imaging camera, and we're going to go check it out and see if the vehicle is clear or not. At this point, I'm dismounted from my vehicle and riding with the fire department actually in their fun little UTV with my patrol rifle.
He's got the sheriff in the game board right in on top of where he was.
Well, where are they at in relation to us? So basically at this point we are trying to find the location of the truck and some other personnel that are in the field with the drone, so we can kind of orientate ourselves, because there's no references or like landmarks or anything to really go off of out here. The brush is so thick and thorny with mesquite and underbrush. It's just hell trying to get through there. So we finally get to where the truck is there. It's already been cleared by a game warden that found it, and we are now going to check the surrounding area because the thermal camera has spotted a single person moving through the brush. Go for 205.
I'm about you right now.
Can you hear what they got for me?
No. Watch your suit for a minute.
I don't see the damn drone. Do y'all see the drone?
I see a bird.
What's your foot real here? We can hit.
3202.
I don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
Back toward your direction on foot. Nice clear.
Have TDCJ come out with dogs in?
I don't think it'd do any good now. Everybody's been out here.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's what I was thinking earlier when I said no too. $205, $1205.
I don't know what it got.
Go ahead.
$1205. What was that traffic for me?
Dispatch 22, the public service them. I told them that you're right on a buggy right now.
Sample.
And we can try to drive this shit. Don't make
Yeah,
that shit.
I think we need to go back. There's a little hut right there.
Yeah, it looks like an old drum or something.
I don't think we can get very far.
There's got to be a road somewhere in here.
So at this point, the underbrush is actually so thick that we can't even get through it with the UTV. I mean, it's pretty much solid trees and just these horrendous thorny vines that get wrapped up in the tires and our clothes. So we actually dismount and go on foot. At this point, it's myself, a constable, another local officer, and a very enthusiastic volunteer firefighter with his own body armor and sidearm, because Texas is just built different, y'all. One time I didn't bring a freaking wrist compass.
What?
One time I didn't bring a wrist compass. So right there, I mentioned a wrist compass. Fun fact, in my bug out bag and kind of my EDC stuff, I generally carry like a Sunto M9 wrist compass. Yeah, I was just thinking that. For a Garmin, I believe it's a 601 or 701 wrist-mounted GPS unit, and that's kind of like part of my LARPing gear too, if you will. But it really does come in handy in a wide variety of situations, and this is one of those situations where it's super handy to have one. Also, if you guys don't have one, get a sling for your rifle. In situations like this where you are tromping through the woods and stuff, a sling is super helpful. It's not just for hurry up and wait or looking cool. So right now we are following the last known direction that the suspect has traveled, and I'm taking rear point on this little four-man element, if you will. And if you are taking the rear position, always do rear security checks like I'm doing here. I'm just spinning around every once in a while, checking side to side, checking to our rear, because you don't know if this dude's got a gun, if he's got a rocket launcher, pipe bomb, flamethrower, it don't matter. But you don't want him walking up behind you while everybody else is looking straight ahead. So as we're trying to orientate ourselves here, I take a kind of rear position, and I'm just watching behind us as we go. Every time we stop, I stop and face the other direction, just so nobody's walking up right behind us. Now, as the other guy in the element here, the one in the tan here, if he would have been, you know, military trained or had some kind of formal training in this kind of maneuver, he would have given me an indicator that we were moving again so they don't leave me behind. But that's kind of on me to continually check and make sure that I'm not being left behind, so you kind of got to keep that 360 awareness going. And you can just see how dense this brush is. I mean, it's just constant, and full of spider webs. Now, right here, I should not have been as bunched up and as close to them. I should have kept it a little bit more spread out. But I was also trying to overhear what they were discussing so I could stay in the loop. That's another thing. Communication is huge, man. Huge. Keep everybody in the loop with what you're doing. This is also a good time to bring up stop, look, listen, and smell. I'm pointing, I hear something. I hear what I think is footsteps. take a kneeling position. Indicate to the sergeant next to me, hey, I hear something, I see something. Definitely hear something. I tell him I hear footsteps. I start advancing. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something. Follow an animal trailer.
Hey. Police bar, put your hands up! Put your hands up! Get on the ground!
At this point, I see him and he takes off again. So the chase is on. And I am just bulldozing through this stuff and it is shredding my clothes. There's a water bottle he dropped on the ground. It is hard running with a rifle. If you
Hey! Put your hands up! Get on the ground!
There he goes. He's hopping a fence. There's a fence line there.
Shit, Matthew. 205, all units. He just hopped the fence line on a different property.
I don't even know if my radio's reaching out where we're at. There's thorns everywhere. We gotta go through a barbed wire fence. I mean, your clothes are gonna get shredded. Oh, and this dude's rifle right here. This thing was like 12 freaking pounds. He's got a D60 drum mag, just this LPVO on there. I don't know what he had this thing set up for, but it was just tragic.
White or Hispanic?
This was our first eyes on the guy, which is why I said white or Hispanic. We didn't even have a description of the guy. I had seen him in the rear mirror, or the driver's side rearview mirror, or driver's side mirror, whatever you want to call it, on the truck, and I knew it was probably white or Hispanic, but now we actually had our first, like, eyes on. There's a game camera right there.
Trail camera.
It's funny, actually, the district attorney's office shared with me the pictures of those afterwards, and it had a really, I wish I had a copy of it. It had like a cool like action shot of me in the woods with the rifle. It was really fun. So at this point, he is dipped off deep in the woods. I mean, this property is hundreds, if not thousands, of acres. It turns out it's actually quite large, and it actually bridges both county lines. So we weren't really sure which direction he took. All we know is he ran straight ahead where that brush pile is, and we lost sight of him. So at this point, myself and the sergeant in the tan there are actually going to split off from the group. The constable and the firefighter there, they're going to go one direction, and we are going to walk along a trail another direction. And this went on for hours. I was out there for 8 to 10 hours total that day. It was pretty hot, even though given the time of year it was. I think a total of 8 miles. I hiked 8 miles through the woods with all my kit, and not even all my kit. I literally had like a bottle of water in my pocket, patrol rifle, 2 magazines, and my sidearm and stuff. I mean, and my Kevlar vest, of course. But I really didn't have a lot of the stuff that I would prefer to have. I would have changed over to something like a chest rig. And a hydration bladder of some kind, or at least like a canteen, because water is stupid important when you're doing maneuvers through, like, you know, rough terrain. This isn't really rough terrain where we're at right now, but it gets pretty rough. Yeah, we are tromping through some woods. So, but he ends up actually being caught on a road, kind of in the same direction that we were walking. But a couple miles. I mean, the dude just like hoofed it through the woods and like at a high rate of speed, but he was all scratched up and injured and stuff, and we were trying to be low and slow and sneaky trying to find him, so we weren't really able to keep up on foot. But he ended up being caught, And then after the case was, he was I think a third-time felon, and he ended up getting convicted to 99 years in prison for the theft of the vehicle, evading from us on foot and in a vehicle, and just basically putting people at risk on the road and stuff. So it was a happy ending. After, nobody got hurt, nobody died, and the bad guy went to jail. So it was a win-win. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It's not the most exciting video, I know, but you know, it was a fun one for me, and I thought I'd share. Anyway, appreciate it. Have a good one, and I'll see you later.